Ever wondered what would happen if everyone got, like, a guaranteed income every month?
Yeah,
Would we all just quit our jobs and, I don't know, chill out all day? Or would we actually be more productive and creative?
right.
Well, get this. Today we're diving into a study that actually tried to figure that out.
It's pretty wild, right?
Yeah, it's not just some theory. It's like real-world data
Yeah.
from a huge experiment where they gave people free money and watch what happened.
Yeah, it's super interesting.
So this is about, what is it called? Basic income.
Exactly, basic income. The idea that everyone gets a regular payment, no strings attached.
It's like free money every month.
Yep. And what's even cooler is this particular study was actually inspired by Sam Altman,
Wait, Sam Altman, the OpenAI guy?
the one and only, the founder of the company behind ChatGPT.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
Okay, so why is he interested in basic income?
Well, he's been thinking about this for a while, especially with AI becoming so powerful and potentially, disrupting the job market.
Right, like robots taking our jobs.
Yeah. Exactly. So he's looking at the bigger picture, the human side of all this.
I see.
He's asking questions like, if people get a basic income, will they become lazy? Or will they actually use it to pursue their passions and contribute in new ways?
So did this study actually try to answer those questions?
They sure did. They went all out with this thing, a 3-year experiment called the Unconditional Cash Study.
3 years, that's a long time.
Yeah, it was a big commitment. 3,000 people in Illinois and Texas got $1,000 a month, no strings attached.
Whoa, $1,000 a month. That's got to make a difference.
Especially for folks struggling to make ends meet. For people near the poverty line, it was a 40% boost in income.
That's huge.
Yeah. And to make sure they could really see the effects, they had a control group, too, who didn't get the money.
Okay, so what happened? Did everyone quit their jobs and just chill out?
Not quite, but it is pretty interesting. They did work less, on average, 1.3 to 1.4 fewer hours per week.
That's not nothing.
Yeah, but before we jump to conclusions, economists consider that a moderate effect, not mass quitting.
Okay, so not everyone became a couch potato. But still, even 1.3 hours less every week for 3 years, that adds up.
Yeah, it does. What were people doing with all that extra time, you ask?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Mostly it seems they were spending it on leisure activities.
So more time for hobbies and stuff.
Pretty much. And researchers saw that as a good thing. People felt more in control of their lives, and they used the time for things they enjoyed.
Less work, more fun. Sounds pretty good so far. But wait, did anyone, use the extra money to improve their career situation? Find a better job, maybe?
Now that's where things get really interesting.
Oh.
The study didn't find any significant impact on job quality. People didn't end up with higher paying positions.
Really? You'd think with that extra financial cushion, they'd have more freedom to explore new opportunities or, I don't know, ask for a raise.
Right. That's kind of surprising.
So what's going on there?
Well, it raises some questions about the job market itself.
Like, why didn't this extra money translate into better jobs?
Exactly. Maybe there are other factors at play. It's a puzzle, for sure.
Okay, so less work, more leisure, a mystery about job quality. But what about health? Did the extra cash affect people's well-being?
And here comes the real shocker. Hospitalizations actually went up by 26% among those getting the basic income.
What? Seriously? You'd think having less financial stress would lead to better health, not more trips to the hospital.
It's definitely unexpected.
So what's the explanation?
Well, the study doesn't give us a clear answer, but it does open up some interesting possibilities. Like maybe people were finally able to afford to address health issues they'd been putting off.
Oh, that makes sense. Like maybe they couldn't see a doctor or get treatment before because of the cost.
Exactly. Having that safety net might have given them the freedom to prioritize their health.
Or maybe there are other factors we haven't thought of yet.
Right. There could be other things going on that the study didn't capture. We need more research to really understand this finding.
It's fascinating though, right? It just goes to show even seemingly simple solutions can have complex and sometimes surprising consequences.
Totally. And that's what makes this whole topic so intriguing.
So, to our listeners out there, what do you think about all this? What are your thoughts on this whole balance between work, leisure, and financial security?
Yeah, it's a question worth pondering, especially when we think about those initial concerns about AI potentially displacing jobs.
Right. If automation does lead to fewer jobs, maybe a basic income could be part of the solution.
But then we have to think about all the other changes that might come with that, both good and maybe not so good.
For sure. This is a conversation that's just getting started.
Definitely. Other cities are doing their own basic income trials right now. It's a topic that's going to keep evolving, so it's important to stay informed and engaged.
Let's recap some of the most interesting findings. The decrease in working hours, the increase in healthcare spending, and the fact that job quality didn't really improve.
Yeah, those are some pretty key takeaways.
It all leads to a big question.
If basic income becomes more widespread, what changes do we need to think about? Socially, economically, politically? What new opportunities could it create? And what challenges might we need to face?
This whole deep dive has really got me
Me
thinking.
too. It's like we've only scratched the surface of a really complex issue.
It feels like basic income is about more than just money. It's about rethinking our relationship with work, time, and what's truly important in life.
It definitely challenges some of our assumptions, and the best part is this is just the beginning. There's so much more to explore.
So for anyone listening who's totally hooked on this topic now, where's a good place to start?
I'd say check out the basic income experiments happening right now in cities across the country. There are some amazing initiatives going on.
Like, where can people find out about these?
A lot of them have websites and resources where you can learn about their methodology, their findings, even how to get involved.
Cool. This deep dive has really got me thinking differently about work, time, and what it means to be financially secure.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that there are many different ways to approach these big questions, and that the future of work and well-being is far from settled.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder all of this. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive on basic income. And until next time, keep exploring.
Yeah, that is really unexpected.
Right.
I mean, you'd think having that extra money would actually lead to better health, not worse.
Yeah, it's a head scratcher for sure, but the study does throw out some interesting ideas.
Okay, like what?
Well, maybe people could finally afford to take care of health problems they'd been ignoring.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Like maybe before they couldn't afford to go to the doctor or get the treatments they needed.
Yeah, and now with the basic income, they could actually prioritize their health.
Exactly.
Or maybe there's something else going on that we haven't thought of.
Yeah, that's always possible. There could be other factors the study didn't really look at.
So we need more research to figure this out.
Definitely. But it just shows you even something that seems like a simple solution.
Right. Can have some pretty complex consequences.
Yeah, for sure. So let me ask you this.
Sure.
If you were listening to this, what would you be thinking right now?
Good question.
What are your thoughts about this whole idea of work and leisure and financial security?
Yeah, it's a good question to think about. And remember how we were talking about Sam Altman's concerns about AI and jobs?
Right.
This study could actually give us some hints about how to deal with a future where work might look totally different.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about, like, if automation does end up taking away a lot of jobs, maybe basic income could be a way to help people.
It could be. But then we also got to consider all the other changes that could come along with it,
Yeah, for sure.
both positive and negative.
This is a conversation that's definitely not over.
Totally. This wasn't just a one-time study. Other
Yeah.
cities are now doing their own basic income experiments.
Really?
Yeah, so this is something that's going to keep evolving. We need to stay informed.
Okay, so let's go back and highlight some of the most important findings from this study. Like, we saw a decrease in working hours, an increase in healthcare spending, and job quality didn't really get any better.
Yeah, those are some pretty big takeaways.
It all leads to a big question, though.
It does. If basic income becomes more common, what changes are we going to have to think about?
Socially, economically, politically.
Exactly. What new opportunities could it open up?
And what new challenges might we face?
Lots to consider.
This whole deep dive has really made me think.
Me too. It feels like we've only just scratched the surface of a very complex topic.
Yeah, it really makes you think about, like, what's important, you know?
It does, right.
Like, maybe basic income isn't just about money, it's about having the freedom to make different choices.
Totally. Freedom to spend your time differently, maybe focus on things you care about, not just, working all the time.
Exactly. It's really fascinating. So for our listeners who are now, like, totally into this whole basic income thing, where can they learn more?
Well, there are tons of resources out there, but I'd say start by checking out some of the real-world experiments happening right now.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned other cities are trying this out too, right?
Yeah, there are all these cool initiatives popping up all over the place.
And are these, like, easy to find online?
Definitely. Most of them have websites where you can read about what they're doing, how they're doing it, what they're finding. Some even have info on how to get involved.
That's awesome. This whole deep dive has really changed my perspective on a lot of things.
Me too. It's been a great reminder that there are so many different ways to think about work, time, and, well, just life in general.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder all of this. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into basic income. And until next time, keep exploring.